Don't you know that not listening to the Shenmue AM2 podcast is way uncool?
Welcome back to another episode of the Shenmue AM2 podcast. We're your hosts, Andrew.
And Matt.
And we are here for our first podcast of the year of Shenmue 3.
Our first podcast.
Podcast. I'm from Boston. I park my car in Bahaba. Oh, stereotypes. Off the rails already. This is great. Off to a good start.
Starting the new year right.
We took a break. We're back. Yeah, it's the year of Shenmue 3. This is exciting. But today, we're not here to talk about Shenmue 3. Well, we might at the end a little bit because we get a question asked about it.
We'll sprinkle it in.
Well, a dash of it.
I think we'll be sprinkling Shenmue 3 talk into this because this thing we're going to talk about may be telling the future of the series in some ways.
Possibly. If you haven't figured out what we're talking about Yakuza 6. No, just kidding. Shenmue Online. We dusted off the time machine. We're getting in it, and we're setting that dial to August 3rd, 2004.
And I would get the hair gel so I could spike my hair so I could fit in with everybody in the early 2000s, but I have no hair.
Neither do I. We are just two sad balding men. We'll post a podcast together.
Sad balding men.
Did you have spiked hair then?
No. I bucked the trend.
My whole thing is I don't want to look back on a picture of me and be like, what the hell was I thinking with my hair or my clothing?
I did that. I have my high school graduation photo is middle part. I got the middle part going.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
All right. So we're back on August 3rd, which is my wife's birthday, by the way, 2004, and out of nowhere, we get Shenmue 3 announced. Just kidding. We get the third Shenmue game announced. Shenmue Online.
This really did feel like it was literally out of nowhere.
I just remember being like... my initial thoughts when this happened was like, okay, it isn't announced that it's coming to North America. I need it to. I'm gonna have to get a PC that will run it. My mind was just like, how?
Well, I remember thinking back then already. This is 2004. Like what? 2 years, 3 years after Shenmue 2. 3 years?
Yeah, there was...
So it's been 3 years since Shenmue 2. I'm like, Shenmue's dead. It's never coming back. It's been so long. 2004.
Little did we know.
How much longer we would have to wait.
So, yeah, it gets announced. It has a trailer. We have the original press release up here, so we'll go through it here. I'll read it off. If I do not die first... Sega Corporation and JC Entertainment Corporation today announced a business alliance to co-develop and co-publish Shenmue, trademark, Online, a massively multiplayer online game, MMOG, for PC platform. Also, Sega has basic agreement with T2 Technology Holdings, Inc. to allow T2 Technologies to license China online game operation of Shenmue Online. Still dying. JC Entertainment will manage the content development, Korea online game operation, and marketing of Shenmue Online. While Sega will also be responsible for the content development and supervise the ongoing of development and licensing related to the online game operations in each territory except Korea. Stop scrolling. In addition, Yu Suzuki, the creator of Shenmue and Sega's R&D creative officer, will supervise ongoing activities for the game.
Do we have to read this whole thing?
It ends right here. It's just, there's only one little thing left here.
Okay.
By T2 Technologies' online game operation of Shenmue Online, the commercial launch is due within 2005. That did not happen.
Nope.
There was other stuff shown in 2006. Also, Shenmue Online will roll out in Korea beginning with a private beta in November 2004, followed by an open beta and commercial launch in spring of 2005. Did not happen. The online game operation in Korea will be managed by JC Entertainment. The Shenmue franchise was established more than 5 years ago with the release of Shenmue Dreamcast trademark. In 1999, then Shenmue 2 Dreamcast trademark in 2001. Shenmue boasted groundbreaking full 3D CG environments and over 1,400 characters alive in a virtual world where time passes and weather also changes as in real life. Shenmue Online is MMO action RPG in which tens of thousands of players will participate in the virtual world of Shenmue staged in China, including Hong Kong in 1980s. That's not proper English. Players acting as militants will use mysterious powers, kung fu, Chinese weapons, and qigong. I looked up how to pronounce that beforehand. In real-time fight action. Sega JC Entertainment T2 technology will leverage a combined development, distribution power, and operation power to expand the online audience of Shenmue Online to grow their network businesses.
Did that open beta ever happen?
I don't know if anyone listening to this has ever played that beta. We will have you on the podcast as soon as possible. We want to pick your brain. But I think it did. I think it did.
So people got to try it a little bit.
Yeah. We just need to go to our university where there's a lot of international students, find Korean students our age, and be like, hey, what were you doing in 2005? By any chance were you playing this game?
Yeah. So this was never intended to come out here, right? It was just China and Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big Saga MMO that doesn't come to the West, like Phantasy Star Online 2, Matt. Buddy.
I'm looking at Wikipedia here, and it says in 2005, JC Entertainment pulled out of the development of Shenmue Online. And as they owned 50% of the properties of Shenmue Online, there was a legal debate over who had the rights to the game.
It did end up that Saga did have the rights. That Yu Suzuki mentioned that later on in an interview that it would continue. And then we got some trailers, a video at, what was it called? China something?
China Expo?
China Joy Expo or something?
Yeah.
And we just never got it.
So it was canceled in what, 2006, 2007?
It was never officially canceled, ever.
Oh.
The last news about it was in 2007.
There's still hope, guys.
Here, I'll pose a question right now.
Okay.
Will Shenmue 4 be Shenmue Online?
It could be. I don't know. MMOs are they've gone away for the most part. They're no longer huge like they used to be, so...
Yeah, I don't want...
It could be a games as a service game.
Yeah, I don't want Shenmue Online. I would have loved to have had it back then, and I would love to have played now whatever build was the last build, but I don't want the series to go that way.
Yeah. So there's... On Wikipedia here, we've got a little bit of an interview from Yu Suzuki where he says... Players will join one of three clans, led by Xiahua, Zhuying, and Wuying, and go through the story by completing tasks given by the leaders. Of course, during the story, each clan will interact with one another in both friendly and hostile situations. Landi and Ryo will make appearances in those situations as well. When asked about the various activities possible in Shenmue 2 and whether they will make it into Shenmue Online, Yu says that the arcade games will definitely make it in, and 2/3 of the things like working collapsing toys, collecting capsule toys from Shenmue 2 will make it into Shenmue Online, along with much more content exclusive to Shenmue Online. Yu added that the game will take place not only in Hong Kong and China, but Macau as well. Yu smiled when he asked what players will be able to do in Macau. So that's something, that could be a clue to where Ryo's going in the future games.
Yeah, remember when we talked about our predictions of what Shenmue 3 and where the story will go, and I said that there's probably 3 groups instead of 2. Mm-hmm. I think this kind of furthers that idea.
3 clans?
3 clans instead of just 2, because if there's only 2 clans, or only 2 groups, and there's 2 Phoenix mirrors, if one person gets the other mirror from the other, then they have ultimate power. Although Iwao had both.
Why didn't he in the world? It would have been so fun. Continuing here, Yu says that QTEs will make it into Shenmue Online, but conceptually it is impossible to implement the exact same kind of QTE into an online game. So in Shenmue Online, QTEs will be something geared towards an online MMO game, but since the implementation hasn't been finalized yet, couldn't go into specifics. Yu states that Shenmue's world is very suitable for online play. Shenmue Online's world would be much bigger than the home versions thus far, including over 1,200 buildings and locations, and will be possible for each player to have his or own house. Yu added that he has always been very fond of Chinese culture, so he's very happy that Shenmue was liked by the Chinese gamers. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was popular in China. This is why he's making a game for the Chinese market. But from a game perspective, Shenmue Online will include many things that all gamers will be able to enjoy, except for those of you in the West.
Yeah, everything about this was frustrating because the news just trickled out over time, and then there was nothing.
Yeah.
And never officially canceled.
I don't know, would you... So you would have played it, you think? Even though you don't play many MMOs?
If you plaster Shenmue on anything, I'm playing it. You take, like, Gran Turismo and call it Shenmue Turismo. I'm taking my Miata, cruising around, listening to Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Dinosaur Planet, the video game?
No.
Do you know why you're not familiar with Dinosaur Planet?
No.
Because it was never released.
Okay.
Dinosaur Planet was reskinned as Star Fox Adventures.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Do you think this structure was originally Shenmue?
This game?
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like it is. It feels like it was built up from the ground up as Shenmue. I don't know. What else?
I don't think there's anything that's ever officially confirmed that it was originally Shenmue, because it kind of came out of the blue. The JC Entertainment backed out of the deal.
Yeah.
Tried to keep the assets. So I'm not convinced that this was Shenmue.
They just skinned it as Shenmue.
To
get that good Shenmue goodwill.
Well, yeah, it's brand recognition, right?
Yeah.
If you're Yu Suzuki and Saga has put the kibosh on what you're doing, but Saga's willing to take less risk by only investing in half of it, then that's a great opportunity presented to Yu Suzuki. And it could have been that, it could be vice versa too, that someone was looking to make a game and saw that Shenmue was, the branding was available and the association of that and the name recognition, and hopped on that bandwagon. Padcast. I just cannot talk today. I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced.
Well, let's look at some of the videos here.
Also,
announcements.
I will say, when this trailer came out, I thought this was the most badass trailer of all time.
The FMV trailer with
like the person typing at the keyboard and everything.
Oh, is that this one?
I think it is.
Yes, yeah. It is. So yeah, it's like a full motion video, like, Final Fantasy VII style. Of all our Shenmue characters, and they look better than they ever looked before, for the most part.
We have confirmed Ryo, Londi, Zhuing, Joy,
Ren,
Wong.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like Londi is holding Joy captive. He's got a bunch of men in black, and they're all Oh, I just noticed that the Chiyu Men have helicopters with the Chiyu Men symbol.
Well, that's the helicopter that takes him up.
Right. Was there a Chiyu Men symbol?
There was a
on it?
Chiyu Men symbol.
I don't remember that. Well, anyways,
sure.
Ryo goes up to this rooftop and beats up a bunch of black suits, and he looks fucking badass. And even today, that looks really good. Yeah. I'd say him in particular, out of this. Londi looks a little bit weird to me, but
Londi's face looks weird. I think
Ryo looks spectacular.
I think Londi's garb looks great.
Yeah. So he's threatening to kill Joy, and so Ryo like throws him the Phoenix Mirror.
Is it the Phoenix Mirror he throws?
Isn't that the one that he has?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, and then the guy who's been typing on the keyboard interspersed through this whole trailer jumps into the game, into the world, and comes
does a quantum leap or something?
Comes through as like some sort of digital blue spirit, and he catches the mirror so that Londi doesn't get it, and Londi looks mad. Then this guy becomes a character in the world, and he looks like Tidus from Final Fantasy X.
He does. He's got a furry vest, a bulging package in the front.
Fingerless gloves.
Someone just put when he holds the thing up, it says Mentos.
Yeah, the Mentos tag on the trailer.
They put a lot of work into animating Joy's boobs in this.
They did.
Did these people go on to work on like DOA volleyball?
Probably. So using that distraction, Zhu Ying frees Joy, and then a bunch of other like digital people
are coming in, sucker punching the black suits.
There's like a whole army of people behind Ryo now, and then everybody has a Dragon Ball Z Fireball face-off. So there was a lot of criticism about that part. I remember back in the day, everyone's like, it's great up till that point.
They're gonna flatten the city here.
Yeah,
keep going with it.
So, what did you think of the first time you saw the fireballs?
I was expecting it based on the way Shenmue 2 ended.
I kind of was too, and I kind of still expect there to be fireballs in future games.
Oh yeah, people will be firing Kamehamehas or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's where Shenmue's going. Unless after all this time he's changed his mind and like taken that criticism and he's like, oh, people like the grounded game, maybe I'll keep it more grounded, no fireballs. But I think that was fully his original intention.
Well, there are arcane magic scrolls as one of the rewards in the Kickstarter, though.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Then we have this other trailer of black suits chasing Ren. Mm-hmm. They corner him in a warehouse, and he's just like, switchblade. Lights
go out. Lights go on. And then his whole gang's behind him.
Yeah. Although, you know who's not there in his gang?
Who?
Cool Z.
Oh.
Maybe because he's with Londi, because he's the actual leader of the Chiyu Men.
He's in the helicopter supervising. He's in a supervisor position.
Yeah.
Get that mirror, Londi.
He's mid-level management.
Just blasting through the helicopter.
Hey, you.
So, this other trailer, we also get some shots of Shenhua
turning the earth brown.
It looks like... Yeah,
is she changing time?
I think somebody else is doing it. I don't think she's doing it. She looks like she gets hit by a wave of, like, time displacement and becomes, like, an ancient Chinese
Pause it here for a sec. That is the exact outfit she's wearing on the cover of U.S. Shenmue.
Right.
It looks like some sort of ceremonial garb.
And it's definitely, like... This is going to be in the games going forward for sure. This whole, like... She's, like, a Link to the Past thing. Because... I didn't mean to say that. In the second game, does she not have a flashback and it looks kind of like... It almost looks like ancient China?
Yes. I think there will be time travel, possibly, and not our time machine.
Yeah.
If it is, that's amazing foreshadowing by me that I did not know. We have a dragon descending.
Yeah, he's trying to ruin the world.
Her necklace is glowing.
Yeah, and so...
Lightning's crashing. And oh, mother dash.
So, yeah, we cut back to Ren, and he's...
Wong's in a... Is that a Hummer?
I don't know. But the black suits are terribly afraid of these street ruffians, and they get...
That was Cool Z!
Oh.
Go back!
He blocked the...
He did! That is Cool Z!
He blocked the door so the black suits couldn't run away.
Look, it's got the hood.
Oh,
it's
yes.
Cool Z in the
It's Cool
mohawk.
Z.
I've never noticed that before.
He's
I'm
not
so
the leader.
excited.
He's not the leader of the Chiyu Men.
I'm so excited.
Well, I like how Wong stops the black
Go
suits.
back for a split second. I just noticed in the transition, there's a face.
Is there?
Yes.
I think there's many faces in those weird transitions.
Stop.
Yeah, it could have been anything. Oh. Yeah, it looked like an old guy. It looked like, Ryu... Yeah, it looks like Ryu and Ken's master from Street Fighter. It looks like, oh god. Goki. No, not Goki. Goken. So, we have a Street Fighter connection.
Akira's gonna show up. Virtua Fighter.
So yeah, I like how Wong blocks all the black suits from leaving. They don't just bowl over the little kid. He's like, I'm gonna stop you guys, and he does it.
It's fearless. I love it.
Yeah.
Rio seems like hesitant to give up the mirror.
Well, obviously he knows.
I love how there was a forklift in the background too.
Yeah.
Wong just not taking shit from anybody.
Yeah. But I think the rest of the trailer is mostly the same, except for there's a few more.
There's some more.
I guess there's like
She's at the pond with the fireflies, which
She's
you
like
see
chanting.
this in the
Shenmue 3 teaser.
The Shenmue 3 teaser.
But Ryo's there too, right? Or is it just her? I think Ryo.
And she's like sending all these lights up, these fireflies.
There's definitely some mystical shit going on.
I just don't understand the mysticism when they went so in depth with making the game a reality.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be, like a twist.
I just love those black suits just getting knocked out.
But yeah,
sucker punched out of nowhere.
I think it's supposed to be like an M. Night Shyamalan twist. It's like, this game is the real world. Psych. It's actually Chinese classical
Phoenix is rising.
Classical Chinese fairy tale fantasy kind of thing. So yeah, the end of the trailer has Lan Di like controlling the dragon from the dragon mirror or whatever. With
you see his hand moving.
Yeah, he's like doing. He's controlling it with his hands, and
Shenhua is controlling the Phoenix.
Yeah, so that's where the whole series is going, guys. You don't need to play the rest of the game. You just
go to Phoenix, Arizona.
You just
watch the Coyotes play a hockey game.
Watch the trailer for Shenmue Online, and then you know how the series ends. It's a battle between Lan Di and Shenhua, and they're both wielding giant Pokemon.
Alright, let's go to one of the trailers where they show this game in action.
Oh boy. Okay. So, this one, I like this one. It's got a few things.
What did you think about the graphics? The graphics were criticized heavily.
Yeah, they're not great, even for the time. So, over 150 quests, it
charts. Over 150.
In the open beta.
That's what that B stands for?
Yes.
I learned something today, people.
That is the symbol for beta. So, quests, events, and then I like this part. Where is it? I think it's coming right up here. Like a lot of these trailers, you reuse the same footage. Oh, there's another. This is a new shot. Yeah, it's like
this kid with Shenhua.
You think we're gonna see this kid in Shenmue 3? Or we've seen a little kid about that kid's age? Is that a redesign of this character? I wonder. This character is hugging Shenhua. So yeah, we get action, drama, heroic in the trailer. I like that. This is the next part with the Minigames is my favorite. Minigames. It shows 4 screens. Shows like roll it on top and darts,
and then another roll it on top.
Yeah, and then afterburner, and then it's like, so it's a 4. There's 4 screens in this, and then it goes 8 screens, but it's still the same things. 16, it's still the same things. So
Looks like a magic eye puzzle.
Yeah, you get this giant montage of just the same 4 screens, and they're like, look at how many mini games we have. That's just 4, you just multiplied it.
No, it's not even 4, it's 3. 2 of them are the same.
That's true, yeah.
More black suits getting their faces kicked in.
Yeah. We get some, like, weird motion capture stuff, which is kind of cool to see the actual behind the scenes. Over 1,000 battle motions, it says, for the action. And there's jobs, apparently, in the game. I don't think they extrapolated what that was going to be exactly.
The artwork in this...
Artwork's really pretty good, yeah.
It's very reminiscent of the artwork of the other...
I think maybe...
Like that's in the player's guides and stuff.
Yeah, I think maybe jobs means, like, classes, like character classes, not actual jobs.
The word jobs gets thrown around in MMOs and RPGs a lot.
Yeah. So then it shows the environments for quite a while. It just shows character running through environments.
This really reminds me of the first couple Yakuza games. The way the environments look.
Yeah, it's the streets are very wide compared to Shenmue 2. So it's all in China and Hong Kong, just like Shenmue 2.
There's no other NPCs, though.
Yeah.
When he's running around. And he's got this weird thing on his arm like he's from Final Fantasy.
Yeah. The character designs. Yeah, let's talk about the character designs for a second. Like, it's either, like a Final Fantasy-looking character, generic Kung Fu Man character, or somebody who looks like they're about to go to a nightclub. Those are the only characters we get to see, like, player characters.
We do see also in one of these player characters she's in some sort of bar, very reminiscent to the bars in Shenmue 2, and there's a Space Harrier machine.
Well, they did say the arcades would be in there, yeah. So what do you think of the character designs? Like, do they fit Shenmue? They don't scream Shenmue to me.
They don't scream, and that's part of the other reason why I think this might have been something reskinned.
Yeah.
The environments, and again, this is a beta very early on. The environments, 50-50 on them. I think they do look like Shenmue, but there's something about them that's just a little off. But then you have like this one with the fountain, and
a few of the environments are like taken straight from the second game. Well, they're recreated, but those are the places that Ryo goes. And then like there's Wong's wharf, right?
Yeah,
or where Wong's boat is. So let's go to the combat. And it looks like ass.
It does not look good. Okay, pause it right here. Time travel.
What?
What do you see in the background?
A generator?
Yep.
There's no generators in the 80s?
You didn't have those portable generators in the 1980s. I was sitting at work watching this, and I talked to our accounting guy who's about 10 years older than me, and the guy who owns the company I work for, who's in his, I think, early to mid-50s.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I'm like, were portable generators around? And in the mid-80s? And he's like, they were, but they were big. They were very big. Mm-hmm. And these look like portable generators when everyone was like, Y2K, nothing's going to work, the computers are going to explode.
Yeah.
So I'm not convinced that this game is set in the 80s.
It's said in one of the things we read that it was set in the 80s. But maybe you're right in that it was designed...
Maybe there is travel, though, is what I'm saying.
Time travel?
Or...
in the game?
Yeah, or... someone just simply didn't do research.
Yeah, that's probably the most likely.
Or my research was wrong. Research. Or this was another game that was reskinned in Shenmue.
Yeah. It's a Doki Doki Panic situation.
Doki Doki Shenmue?
Yeah. So, yeah, this just looks like a hot mess. There's this player character being struck by lightning bolts. I don't know if that's him doing damage or getting power-ups. He's fighting a bunch of black suits, just doing the same repetitive movements. They don't really react to him hitting them most of the time, and he definitely doesn't react to being hit by them. There's little, like, school children on the sides firing fireballs at him. Occasionally he'll throw a dude, but it just looks terrible. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if I'd think it would look that bad 15 years ago.
Yeah, this generally that's how MMOs worked. Those up until like a few years ago. When that's one thing I always hated about MMOs is like how I never felt like I was affecting anything. Like I was just watching numbers go. Like they didn't like hits didn't have impact. It didn't feel like.
I've never played an MMO in my life.
This
would have probably been the one and only.
The only one I was ever really impressed with was I think it was Terra, Tera. The combat in that is really good actually, but yeah, I just don't like how MMOs play. And
I find they always kind of look a little cheap to me.
Oh, they definitely do. Yeah, And so it's interesting that a few of the fighting styles had weapons in this. It wasn't just like kung fu. There was actual weapon fighting, like swords and staffs.
Yeah, this girl's like Killick from Soul Calibur. Yeah.
So there's that terrible gameplay. But did you see the other one? There's an IGN one uploaded in 2011.
Yes.
I don't know why it was uploaded in 2011 on IGN, since the game was...
It may have been when they were purchased or something and redid all their...
Uploads.
This one
doesn't look half bad sometimes.
It worries me.
Why?
More than the other one. These giant bad guys. Overall, I think the combat looks a lot better.
Yeah,
it's very Virtua Fighter-like.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of the first game.
But these giant, ugly, clearly not human monster bosses are what really worry me. I don't...
Don't we?
No, he's just a big fat guy.
So yeah,
I find the characters look more like regular people. The character you're playing as
in this video.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't look too bad, but so the character designs, they vary wildly from really weird to not half bad. The ones that are just more like kung fu influenced, I could see maybe fitting in Shenmue, but yeah, the nightclub folks, I don't know. Yeah, you can play as little kids in this, which I like that when a game allows you to play as children. You don't get that very often.
Player versus player.
Yeah, there was player versus player in this. A lot of MMOs have that. But yeah, But it
also appears that there's still other bad guys in it, too.
Walking around.
Bad guys, listen to me.
But yeah, they're just walking around ignoring the two players battling. So yeah, that's the combat. I think we've seen most of everything that's online.
There's the girl walking around with I think it's at the end of the trailer you were just looking at, where you see her walking to, she doesn't use it, but there's a pop machine. It's not Coke or Jet Cola or anything, it's just kind of generic.
Yeah.
In the background, but I don't know. I would have loved to have played a build of it. I don't want it now. I would want that now, just to get my hands on it and dig into it.
Yeah.
But I don't want Shenmue Online. I want Shenmue 3 and Shenmue 4. And
I think the most important role it plays nowadays is just a kind of a glimpse into how the story might go. And it was probably intended to go. So we can divine clues from it, and that's about it. But
I think that really is it. And there's not a lot of content to it where it's you have the scene on the roof with the mirror, but that's really it story-wise, I think, that you would get out of it. I don't know how the logistics of that game would have worked with regards to, would it have to have played in chapters and you just keep encountering Rio?
Yeah, I don't know how, that's one thing I don't like about spin-off games, when they use the main character from the main game, but in an NPC capacity. And that never sits well with me. But
yeah, when I saw that I wouldn't be Rio, I remember, and I was essentially almost half the age I am now when I saw this trailer and was blown away by it. But I had these feelings of, I'm not Rio.
Yeah.
And I was attached to being Rio.
Yeah.
And this game wouldn't have...
That's the nature of an online game. You can't have 1,000 Rios running around together.
Again, and that's another reason why I think this was something reskinned as a Shenmue product.
Very well could be. If anyone has the clues to this mystery, let us know.
Yes. And we'll have you on.
Is there anything else you want to say about Shenmue Online?
I don't think so.
It's a weird time capsule. It's a cool curiosity of the series. Check out all the videos we were just describing. If you YouTube, just search Shenmue Online. I think they're all within the first 10 results.
Yeah, I think it's the Shenmue Fans, which I think is the Shenmue Dojo channel now.
There's that one IGN video.
Yeah, the IGN one.
With the better looking combat. But, write in and tell us your thoughts on Shenmue Online. What you thought when it was announced. Did you intend to play it? Would you play it now? Would you want something like that in the future?
What was your initial thoughts? I don't think you actually said.
Me? Like I said, I was very surprised. It had been 3 years. I thought Shenmue was done for. We'd never see it again. It had been so long. I'm a sucker for character customization, so I was excited about that part. But
I'm really the opposite.
I know you are. We've gone over this before. But
we just gotta sit down sometime and do an episode about like what we like in gaming and how we're so different and how physical media is the way of the future.
The way of the future?
Matt and I are drastically different opinions on this.
On most things, except Shenmue.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Transformers, we both think they suck.
What? No!
We do want to talk about another quick little topic here. We had a question. I wouldn't even say it was a question. It was more of a statement about Shenmue 3 DLC. And it wasn't like what we think it might be. Someone posed the idea of if Shenmue 3 had DLC, but it was the second chapter of the Shenmue saga, so the boat ride between Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2.
Where you battle Chai.
Where you fight girl. Chai again, save the little girl.
It'd be a fun little distraction. I can't imagine it would be very long. It'd probably take you 20 minutes to do that.
I think it would have to be a lot of conversation, a lot of kind of just like exploring Rio's house, but exploring the boat. So you'd have like your own little room on the boat, you open all your drawers, go to the cafeteria, pick up your oranges, talk to the NPCs, have like a few side quests of, helping people or doing little tasks on the boat.
I'm not sure how much you could fight.
Yeah, I think it would just be the one
Chai
fight.
Yeah.
Maybe there could be like a little gym on it, and you could train.
Yeah.
And then it would climax with that fight against Chai, where you knock him into the water off the boat. And all of this is kind of available from that comic that was in the Xbox version. I think I would love to. That is the perfect DLC for me. If they were going to do DLC, that would probably be the first piece I would want.
Yeah, that would be good. Just so you could complete the playable story chapters.
What would you... in Canadian dollars, what would you pay for that?
If it was 20 minutes, like I said...
Not necessarily 20 minutes, just like kind of the...
$10 at most. If it was longer,
I was thinking
a couple hours. Yeah,
I'd put a $9.99 price tag on it.
They could also just a lot of games do this now. They launch and then they keep supporting the game afterwards. Like I've been playing the new Tomb Raider and the new Assassin's Creed, and every once in a while it'll just tell me, it's like, hey, we put in a new challenge tomb, or hey, we put in a new chapter side quests. So you could do stuff like that in Shenmue 3, where like we added more stuff. Your second playthrough, there's more to do.
And I think Shenmue is if say Assassin's Creed or Tomb Raider, what do you think would be the attach rate of DLC percentage wise of people that bought the game that would buy the DLC?
I don't know, because
It doesn't matter what number you're going to say, because I'm going to say Shenmue would be substantially higher.
Why?
I think.
Oh yeah, just because
of the fandom and the what's next.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could sell a season pass, which is what these games did. I bought the heavily discounted ultimate versions of these games. So they were pretty cheap, but it's still the ultimate version that came with the season pass and everything. So they could do that with Shenmue. They could be like Shenmue Ultimate Edition, and it just promise you content in the future.
I think if they do DLC on it, they need to announce that they're going to do it soon. Because we see how microtransactions and DLC, when they're announced so close to launch or slightly after launch or immediately at launch, there tends to be a very bad backlash. What was the Star Wars game there that essentially almost halted sales of it and people just stopped playing it? Was it Battlefield 2?
Battlefront?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
You never want to appear as though you have DLC ready to go, that you're just arbitrarily locking it behind the paywall and it's done basically at launch already.
Yeah, put that on the disc.
Yeah.
That's the problem when you don't use physical media. Anything else you want to add to either of these topics, Matthew?
No, that's good.
All right. Well, you can find us on social media. I've been trying to expand where you can get the podcast. So you can get it on iTunes. You can get it on Spotify. You can get it on iHeartRadio. You can get it on Stitcher. You can get it on TuneIn now. You can get it on... there's one I'm missing. I know I'm missing one. Let me look through the apps on my phone.
People know what they listen with. Let's just trust you have it covered on...
Yeah, I have it as many places as I think we can through our hosting service, and on YouTube, obviously, when we do the videos. We have some special guests for episode 50, which is our next one. It's pretty neat who we have.
I'm gonna play a game with them.
Yeah, we've already actually recorded that episode. We did them out of order. Yeah, so you can...
Always time traveling.
Well, we have a time machine. We got to get the money out of it, right?
Yeah.
Before we trade it in and upgrade. There was no way the four of us could have fit in that thing either. We did not think that through when we purchased it off the used car lot. We're at Shenmue AM2 Podcast at gmail.com. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. Please subscribe to YouTube. We really need the subscriptions, the likes, the thumbs up. We want to boost our search. Anytime we're on Twitter, tweet at us. Leave comments, hit the notification, all that good stuff. Really helps us out. We'd like to thank our sponsor this week, Thousand White Warehouse. Now accepting applicants. Are you qualified to work at Thousand White Warehouse? Can you lift crates? Can you move crates?
Can you work without being distracted by your boss who's wearing dominatrix gear?
Apply now. Thanks.
Bye.